hello. Welcome to Rolynn's Reviews. We are back at it again, and I am so glad that you are with me. And please hit that little thumb as you enter the chat room. And let's go ahead and get this started, and then we will have our discussion. And I will give you my review. Here we go.
Served on the China Commission in Congress, ironically enough, as co-chair with Marco Rubio. We used to bring in Chinese political prisoners, and we would ask them, when we speak up and call out your government, is it bad? And they said, well, in the short run, it's bad because they torture us. But if you don't speak up, they will torture us and forget about us. And the idea is right now is we have to be speaking up. We have to call it out. You are doing everything, and our neighbors are doing everything. And I can't stress enough on this. We're winning it because we're doing it with Minnesota grit, Minnesota humor, Minnesota decency. Oftentimes talk about this, and I know people are discussing this a lot. I spent a lot of time with John Lewis on nonviolent resistance. The resistance matters. We're not telling people to be silent, but we're not telling people to go out and cause problems. We're going to cause good trouble.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota. And there's one person who can end this now.
Yeah, sure. How's everyone doing? As you enter the chat room, hit the little thumb that tells YouTube that you are enjoying the content. And so I wanted to get you started off with a little short clip. And folks, this guy is just 100%, he's a dirtbag. He is what he is. And what else can we say? Vicky, you finally made it back. All right. So let's go ahead and do the roll call, folks. Excuse me. And the Zoom link is up if you go to the community tab. For those of you who wanted to do a Zoom after the live stream, I'll tell you we do the live stream first. We won't stay on terribly long so we can go have some fun. Okay. How you doing, Emma? And Jeremiah's here. How you doing? And my girls. Ruthie, how you doing, love? Tube steak, sad to say, but Trump bent the knee again and pulled out ICE. Yeah, too. I saw that. Yeah. How you doing, Eva War Woman and Shaziz and Baldwin Birds, T. Lawrence. Again, CJ, thank you for your service, sir. Thank you. Prosperity, how you doing, sis? Greg, how are you? Nemo. Florida, how you doing? As you can see, I'm home again. School has been canceled again. Hello. And so, hey, we worked remotely today and we work remotely tomorrow. So I'm sure Wednesday, we have got to get out of here. We've got to get out of this place if it's the last thing we ever do. So I'm sure Wednesday, the fun times are over, and that's okay. But I did get a lot done on my computer. So, hey, I'm happy. I hope I said hello to everyone in the chat. CJ, I think I missed you. Yeah. Okay. Let me speak to CJ. And excuse me. I hope that everyone is doing well, warm, and everyone's power and internet's working at full capacity. How dare he try to compare Anne Frank? Oh my God. CJ, every time he opens his mouth, he sticks his foot in it. CJ, this guy will say anything to deflect, okay? And that's just what it is. Tampon Tim is the gum on the bottom of my shoe after I stepped in a pile of horse manure and walked in the cow. You know, my girls is going to start it up. Minneapolis, he pulled some of the troops out and he sent Tom Homan down. Yeah. So there's a lot going on, folks. Okay. He did pull some, not all, but he did pull some. And so we're going to have to see where this leads. Tell me what your thoughts are. Shaziz, he did. I see now, Shaziz, I'm sorry I missed your question. I scrolled back up. He did pull. Hello, Doreen. How you doing? Not all, but he did pull some. And he sent Tom Homan so that he is directing everyone accordingly. What are we doing, folks? The hotel attack. Yeah. He is a joke. Tim is definitely a joke. I just uploaded a short on this guy. But yeah, there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of bad press behind this last shooting in particular. So I don't know if you've seen the footage. Please let me know. The guy was armed. Evil war woman last night at the hotel. 2 guys got arrested by ICE. About 15 minutes later, ICE let them go. Why? When they were breaking glass. Okay, evil war woman. I haven't confirmed that yet, so I was waiting. Now I did see some broken glass, but I don't know if that's the same incident. They did break glass out for some of the buildings, so it's just a lot. Trump better not be playing the coward is what the Democrat want. Yeah, my girls, he did pull some out. So that is an accurate statement because I got that off of Fox News. So I don't know what, I know the strategy he's sending Tom Homan, and he did remove. I don't know if he's trying to, I'm not sure. So we cannot cave to these people because, as you can see, they will not stop. And so that's just where we are. You watched it live, Doreen? Yeah, I watched the video a little while ago, and they are just like wild animals. Antifa primarily is out there, and they're just doing whatever. Ruthie, yeah, you like my Rolling Stone hat? Yes. Yes, I'm prepared for tonight when we get together. We're doing a live Zoom meeting for everyone who wants to join us. The Zoom link is on my community tab because last night several people said they wanted us to have a little meet and greet, or as our great sister Prosperity called it, sip and trip. So you can sip. I'll be sipping on my water, and you can sip on whatever you have. Okay. Some milk or JD or whatever you may choose to sip on. Betty, did you see them marching today with the Somalian flags? Oh my God, Betty, Minnesota's a horrible place. Truth be told, this country's on the brink of destruction. If Trump backs down, they will win. My girls, I know he cannot. You see, these people are already doing the most. Tom, yeah. You're right. And so the narrative that, I think this incident, thank you. Yeah. If you're not subscribed to Miss Prosperity's channel, she just dropped the link. B. Williams, how are you? Make sure you have subbed up to our great sister, Prosperity. There's no news coverage of any federal agents leaving Minneapolis. I'm just finding news reports of Tom Homan going to Minnesota. I would hold the brakes on the agents that are leaving. CJ, that was from AP, Associated Press, and one was from Yahoo, I think. I have alerts coming through, but I have not confirmed that it is happening. But they did say, let me see, that some troops would be leaving. Not all, but they did say some are supposed to leave. Let me pull this back up. All right. And, the Border Patrol Commander, Greg Bavino. So I'm reading the actual AP article. He is, he's the patrol commander, and some agents are expected to leave as early as Tuesday. A person familiar with the story told Associated Press. So we can take that with a grain of salt. That is from AP, Associated Press. And yeah, so I don't know how many. That's all that we have. And Tom Homan's on the way. Doreen, I don't know. Jeremiah says, I don't trust AP or any other media similar. Yeah, that's from AP. That's why I always tell you where I get it from. So hit the like button for me, please, folks. Thank you so much. Yes, Border Patrol, Betty. Yes, according to AP, and Senior Border Patrol Commander, Greg Bovino. So we don't have a number. That's all I have from AP. I just read the alert to you. Okay. Okay, no, something's playing and I don't know what it is. Okay, let me see. All right. Let me see. All right, yeah. Okay, I'm checking because I have the Zoom link set up, so I want to make sure nothing crazy is going on there. Okay. Oh no, I hope not. They need to charge on. Even Alex Jones is entertaining that they should back down. I don't agree. Yeah. You don't sound like ICE are leaving. It said Border Patrol agents, Jeremiah. Shaziz, according to AP. Now, I don't know. How you doing, Kyle? I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. K-A-I-O-H. Let us know if you are new here. James, how are you? James Wayne and James X. Welcome to both Jameses. Yeah, James Bovino and some of the Border Patrol agents are leaving. So I'm going to speak to James and I'm speaking to both of you. How about that? Okay. And I have another clip to share with you. Okay, James. All right, Kyle, if I were President Donald Cheeto Trump, I would send Tom Homan and tell the governor of Minnesota to comply with my demands or the Insurrection Act of 1807 would be invoked. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and set up the next. So some of the activity that they were involved in last night, I will set that up for you now. And then you decide. All right. Oh my goodness, there is so much going on. OMG. All right, so here we go. Now, this happened last night, and again, as you can see, it's continuing to escalate. And CJ says, I think things are about to get going. They just infiltrated their Signal chat. They say that protesters are fleeing now that their Signal chat has been discovered and the FBI has all the info. Okay, CJ, I heard something about that. I didn't get the full story, so okay. You can, James, you can leave your friends behind, but if you don't dance, then you're no friend of mine. Oh yeah, David Bowie. Oh yeah. R.I.P. I love David Bowie. Rolynn's reviews: if Trump removes any troops, then he needs to cut all federal funds. He said he would to all of the sanctuary cities. So I hope so. They don't deserve another federal dollar because they're only going to squander it like they did the other federal money. All right, let's watch this and see what we learn.
They've done. They've shut down this entire street.
This is from last night. I mean, look at what they've done. It's like we're looking at a third. Minnesota is essentially a third world country at this point. This is unrecognizable. Thank you, Prosperity. Prosperity just dropped the Zoom link, and we'll be segueing into the Zoom link as soon as we're done here. Thank you.
It's barricaded with trash cans, debris, mattresses. Look at this. Total takeover by Antifa and far left activists. Militants out here.
Antifa and these far left nuts. Look at all of the destruction, reminiscent of George Floyd, the George Floyd fiasco. These crazy wackos, Shaziz, what is wrong with these people? CJ, Cam Hickney was embedded with the protesters for several days and recorded and uncovered their secret signal chat, and it has the lieutenant governor on the chat. And yeah, I heard that they're all in cahoots. Yes, Williams, they are nuts. I'll tell you everything about last night. The local law enforcement didn't arrive when they were supposed to, and the feds got there. It was a total miscommunication. That was the problem. Yeah, and that's what they want. This is peaceful protesting right here, folks. 101. They're showing us how to do it.
You eat bitch! You press or you press? Get back. Amen. Get back. Oh my God. Are you okay? I'm fine. Are you okay? I'm fine. Where's the local PD? That's my question for the press.
So you see this officer here saying, where is the local PD? That's my question for the press. Ruthie said, horrible animals.
Where's the local PD? What's your message to the local PD, sir?
No.
Okay.
Well, the mayor.
Very chaotic.
Sir,
while they're giving messages, what was your message to the protesters that want you out meet? As long as
No comment. Please, back up. Back up. Please, give me some room. It's me and 30 people. Please get back.
I'm also a paramedic. You are bleeding. Can I help you?
I'm fine.
All right, so this guy's bleeding, so he's been going tussling with the protesters. Prosperity Trump claimed Tim called him to work out a plan. Yeah, I did hear that they did talk. Tube Steak, don't hold your breath on anyone being charged and arrested. Thanks for waiting so long, Trump and Bondi. Yeah, well, we have to wait. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And then even when people are arrested, these judges, come on, folks, they're on the side of these leftists. So, those people need to be disbanded. Yeah, Shaziz, you're absolutely right. How you doing, Mayor? Welcome, 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 all who are here. Hit that like button, share out the stream. If you have social media pages, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I wanted to share a Fox clip with you. So yeah, as we said, this situation is escalating by the day, hour, and minute. Boom. As we said that it would when this first started. We said people would be injured. We said people would be killed. And by godly, that has been happening. Unfortunately. Okay, so me go full screen so you can watch this. And it didn't have to be this way, folks. But of course, the sanctuary city governors, mayors, and all of the other corrupt people over these, sanctuary cities and states, they told them from day one, we will not assist you. So that's why everything is as bad as it is that we're looking at now on a daily basis. So you tell me what you think. Let me get the Fox video going. And they have no one to blame but themselves for refusing to work with the federal agents. The only reason I can think why Trump has not activated the Insurrection Act is because that's what the Democrats want, so that they can have videos for their campaign ads. Okay, CJ, that's a point. That's a point. Non-action brings action from the left. That's a point too, Steak. Okay.
All right, 8 minutes after the hour happening today, a judge will hold a hearing on the evidence surrounding the CBP-involved shooting in Minnesota.
It comes as tensions continue to rise in that state. Protesters were seen overnight. They were trying to violently break into that hotel because they think that ICE agents are staying there.
Matt Finn is back live in Minneapolis with the details. Matt.
Yeah, and Griff, this has been going on for weeks, where these agitators target hotels where they think immigration agents are staying. I actually did a ride along with a Border Patrol agent, and he told us point blank that they experienced this. The agitators show up. They make as much noise as possible, trying to prevent immigration agents from getting any sleep or rest. And this latest riot happened last night at a Minneapolis Hilton. Protesters banged on trash cans. They slammed snow shovels, blew whistles, and tried to force their way in. Minnesota State Police say officers surrounded the hotel, and when things turned violent, federal agents arrived and used tear gas. Now, one federal agent was seen bloodied. 2 people were reportedly taken into custody. This violent demonstration comes after various angles of video are emerging, appearing to show the shooting death of Alex Preddy on Saturday.
People, what is wrong with you? Honestly.
A federal judge has ruled the Trump administration cannot destroy any evidence from its investigation into Preddy's shooting death on Saturday. There's a hearing today where the Trump-appointed judge may extend the temporary restraining order. Here is Minnesota's Attorney General Keith Ellison.
It is in the DNA of American history that the federal government cannot trample over the prerogatives of the state. And that is exactly what is happening here, and that is exactly why we're going to court.
And yesterday, the governor of this state compared what is going on here to the Holocaust and Anne Frank, and said a book will be written about it. Back to you guys in New York.
Matt Finn, live for us in Minneapolis. Matt, thank you.
So I get the sense that the president, if you look at his comments in the Wall Street Journal, I think he wants to take a look at this thing. He's going to look at the video. I get the sense he wants to de-escalate. You know, I would hope that maybe a fresh set of eyes, Tom Homan going in there, taking control of this, letting some of the 3,000 move on to other cities that definitely need ICE and Border Patrol to patrol. I mean, we have between 9 and 11 million came in during the Biden years. There's a lot more criminals out there. So maybe the best thing is, as the New York Post writes in their lead editorial, they wrote time to de-escalate, Don. Even if you're right, the bottom line is these images are not the ones that are going to help you keep the majorities.
Yeah, the problem is you have a sanctuary state, and they're not allowing ICE to come in and arrest the bad, illegal criminals. Yes, they're not allowing them into the prisons, or even they don't want them in the neighborhoods. And then you have these protesters. We're saying, why don't they secretively go to these houses and get the bad guys out? But what happens is the protesters are trolling the ICE agents. They put it on social media. You said they have Signal where they're able to determine where ICE agents are.
Alex Preet was part of that.
Right. And so that's how you're not able to avoid the protesters. So it's just everything is escalating because you have two opinions on both sides. But maybe the president will finally say, fine, you want us out, we'll get out, because he said in this interview with the Wall Street Journal, at some point we will leave. They've done a phenomenal job. We will leave a different group of people there for the financial fraud.
That's right. And, you know, it's important to point out, Ainsley, that these are not just protesters, they're agitators, because they're not just standing there holding signs and filming on the sidewalk. They're impeding, instructing, and in many cases assaulting the agents. I think it's great that mayor and governor keep saying, look at the video. We see the video. Look at the video of your so-called peaceful protesters. What about that video? You'd have a little bit more credibility if you said that some of the people that you put out on the streets are crossing the line. That would also help to de-escalate things instead of making extreme statements every single day, multiple times a day.
I'm Steve Deuce.
Mayor, obviously something is in the water, okay? They said a paramilitary operation. Yeah, I heard about that, CJ. Prosperity has a very good point here, folks. Look at what Prosperity said. Nobody did anything like this with Obama, and they were never this emboldened to pull even this mess. People are committing over $1. Okay. So obviously it is. Beverly married to, I wonder that too. My girl's a demonic stronghold. Something is wrong with Minnesota. Boom. You were correct. Jeez. All right. So I wanted to share that. And one more. Let me show you this guy. Oh my God. And they're all in it together, folks. Attorney General, governor, everything. They're being exposed and they are running scared. Oh my God. Let me show you what the great Attorney General had to say. And where is it here? Okay. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. You know how I feel. All right. So he gave his 2 cents. And Margaret, tomorrow, soon you should watch the video. It's very fun to be on. Yeah, Jeremiah, we had a good time. So, yeah, I'm just going to show you one more clip. Mr. Ellison talking about justice being done and all these things. Okay. So I can show you what this guy is doing. Hit the like button for me, please, folks. It is free. You don't have to pay one thin dime. All right. So they're trying to do everything that they... How you doing, Keel? Thank you for your service, sir. Greg, CJ, all of my service members, thank you for your service. All right, let's see what this guy's talking about. So, you know, they're just attacking everything, basically. All right, let me close this out so I can use. Okay, so listen to what he says. Here we go.
Hey, friends, Keith Ellison here, your Minnesota Attorney General. I just finished a press conference with Governor Walz. We filed a lawsuit a couple of weeks ago against the Department of Homeland Security in Kristi Noem because of this illegal, unconstitutional Operation Metro Surge. That lawsuit will be heard Monday morning, 9 a.m., January 26th. And we will argue that the federal government is violating the Constitution and laws of the United States by having this unprecedented deployment of immigration authorities, north of 3,000 agents. And yet Minnesota does not have the most immigration in this country. They claim it's about fraud, but how does an armed man waving a gun and wearing a mask advance the cause of fraud protection and prevention? It doesn't, it's obvious. So Minnesotans, you have stood up. You have demanded that this government, this federal government, obey the law, respect the Constitution, respect the individual rights of Minnesotans. And your officials, like the governor and myself, are standing up there to protect that, to stand at the front of the line, protecting your rights.
Yeah, we know what that's about, folks. They're trying to protect their butts, literally. Boom. Trying to stay out of jail. Hey, Jones, hello. I'm still warm. I have not, thank God, I did not lose power. So I told you, as long as I had power and internet, I would be here. And the worst of the storm is over, and I'm still out of school. So yeah, life is good. And then he, of course, was on Fox telling lies. So let me get to his part, because I know you don't want to hear Timmy. I'll just get you to, because we've already heard Tim and his lies. All right. So we'll listen to the lies he's sharing. Okay. And then we're done.
Difficult time. This unprecedented time, Governor, because quite honestly, there's never been a deployment of immigration agents this size in the history of the United States. There have been times in American history where they've deported a lot of people, but a concentrated deployment of ICE agents in one state in one period of time is unprecedented. And therefore, there's no playbook. And therefore, nobody knows exactly how to deal with this situation, but it is unique and particularly puzzling, given that Minnesota does not have the highest immigration in the United States, given that Minnesota has a very, very professional community of law enforcement professionals who are taking care of the safety of our state, given the fact that the Department of Corrections, pursuant to state law, hands over people who ICE is looking for and they have proper paperwork for. Given all of that, this is a very curious situation.
It's not curious. You were unwilling to assist. Tom Homan told all of you to stay out of the way, and you did not know things were going to go south. And I guess that guy lost in federal court today because we didn't hear anything about it. Poor baby James.
And would reasonably lead someone to ask why. So let me talk about Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy was a nurse at the VA. I happen to have a son who's 31 years old, who spent 5 years in the United States military as a combat medic. But toward the end of his deployment and the end of his service, he wanted to go into nursing, and so he did. And ended up getting an RN degree and works in the healthcare system here in Minnesota. And when he was at work today and last night, he said, look, my colleagues were crying and in tears, and they took this hit to one of their own very personally. And he said, I did too. He said, I didn't find myself shedding tears, but I could have, because I just was brokenhearted, because I know the service that he and the love and compassion he puts into taking care of the people he took care of at the VA. So, an intensive care nurse, kind, compassionate person to friend and family, described by coworkers as the first person who would jump in to help. He was our neighbor, and he should still be with us right now.
Okay, why was he out there with weaponry? No one has said anything about the weapon that he had. Why are they leaving that out? Prosperity, I agree. God knows.
So let me just note that Superintendent Drew Evans of the BCA, another exemplary professional in our state, he is the BCA is the state's investigative agency, and it is their job to investigate crime. They have a specialized unit to investigate the use of force cases. They arrived on site after the shooting and were refused access. They then secured a judicial warrant, a warrant signed by a judge, which has never been needed before, and were still refused access. This is uncharted territory. Now, friends, this comes at the tail end of other offenses, like a shooting in North Minneapolis and another homicide in South Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Good, where they also were denied access to the scene, and investigators are, to this moment, still being denied access to the investigative file. This is not a rash decision for us to go to court and to seek a temporary restraining order from a judge to preserve evidence and prevent the destruction of evidence. I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, or whatever, but you should at least be in favor of conserving evidence in a homicide. And to have to go get an order from a judge to preserve that evidence is extraordinary and should alarm everyone who believes in equal justice under the law and who believes that every person, no matter how this case ultimately is resolved, deserves to have their case investigated to get to the truth of what happened. This is an extraordinary moment in an unprecedented time, and we're doing all we can to step up to that moment. My office represents the BCA and joined the Hennepin County Attorney's Office in a lawsuit last night, as you know, and we moved to prevent the destruction and or tampering with evidence related to Alex Pretty's shooting. And this includes any evidence the federal agents took from the scene of the shooting, preventing the state authorities from inspecting it. We've never had to do anything like this before. Never before. We filed that motion last night and for a temporary restraining order asking the court to take immediate action to preserve the evidence. And last night, within 2 hours of the filing, a judge granted the motion. The Department of Homeland Security and the federal government are now enjoined from destroying or altering evidence related to yesterday's shooting. The fact that anyone would ever think that an agent of the federal government might even think about doing such a thing was completely unforeseeable only a few weeks ago. But now, this is what we have to do. As we said in our filing last night, the irreparable harm we would suffer if the federal government were allowed to destroy evidence is so weighty that any harm to the federal government does not even budge the scales in a court balancing of the scales. It's imperative that we preserve as much evidence as possible so that the state investigators are allowed to access the evidence to ensure a fair, thorough investigation. And I will say, I've heard not one single law enforcement or investigative agent in the state of Minnesota say that they won't share the information with the federal government. I've heard quite the opposite from the federal government. Now, Operation Metro Surge, as I noted when I started, this appears to be the largest single deployment or surge of immigration agents in the history of the country. And as a result, tremendous damage has been inflicted upon our state. We've had 2 killings within 2 weeks in an additional non-lethal shooting. We've had countless numbers of people who have been stopped and had the demand.
Look at Tim appearing as he's going to break into tears any moment.
And for their papers, to have to show their papers in America. We've had door-to-door knocks where people have their homes barged into without cause of right. And we've had stores have to shutter.
Citizen Kane, that's my issue with them. Citizen Kane says, too bad they don't advocate for U.S. American citizens like they do for illegal aliens and potential immigrants. Boom. That's my major problem with these people. I will continue.
Students not going to school. We've had reduction in employees going to their job sites. We've had jobs being, little markets being shut down, restaurants being interfered with. We've had a countless number of harms. And so we took the action of suing the federal government over Operation Metro Surge. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in federal court with my team arguing for a restraining order against Operation Metro Surge. I filed this case almost 2 weeks ago, and this will be our first hearing. The lawsuit we filed is one that is caused by the unprecedented nature of this surge. It is a novel abuse of the Constitution that we're looking at right now. No one can remember a time when we've seen something like this, when a state can marshal facts to show that our targeting is not based on excessive amounts of undocumented immigrants or anything like that, but we're targeted because of politics, which violates our First Amendment rights. The 10th Amendment, which we are entitled as a state to equal sovereignty, and we have been denied that. The federal government is literally commandeering and coercing the state of Minnesota to bend to its will, which is the prerogative of the people of the state of Minnesota. Let me remind everybody, let me take everybody back to 8th grade civics. The states predate the United States and came into the Union preserving their rights as states to be the states that the citizens of those states want them to be within a constitutional framework. It is at the fundamental, it is in the DNA of American history that the federal government cannot trample over the prerogatives of the state. And that is exactly what is happening here, and that is exactly why we're going to court. This surge has drained local law enforcement time and resources. Jacob Fry, if he were here, could tell you that they've spent north of $2 million on overtime responding to ICE. They've damaged our economy, hurt our education.
Don't even talk about your economy when you've been scammed, allowed yourself to be scammed, and you're in on the take to the tune of billions of dollars. We don't want to hear that. We don't. Citizen Kane, communities need to sue the state and Minneapolis for making them collateral damage by stirring up those riotous protesters. Okay, good point. I bet you that sign lady is hogging the camera, get smashed down. Okay, Prosperity. Yeah, she is. Oh my God. Look at all those faces.
Education system and terrorize community members. And it must stop, and tomorrow is a big step in that direction. Now, as I noted a moment ago, people will ask, well, why Minnesota? I'll say this. Minnesota is dealing with targeted oppression from the federal government because of who we are and who we value.
Yeah, you value Somalians who have scammed you to the tune of billions of dollars. We know that. Next question.
Minnesota is a place where we welcome the stranger. We have a number of nonprofits that focus on refugee resettlement in Minnesota.
We already know about the scams, the Ponzi schemes, the money laundering, the pyramid schemes. I could go on.
Minnesota is a place where we take care of the vulnerable among us. We're a state that just passed paid family leave. We're a state that believes in feeding our kids who are in school, and we're a state.
He's talking about a state that believes in feeding their kids. Where are they feeding them? At the Leering Learning Center? I'm still waiting to see some children there, and I better not hold my breath or I won't live very long. My girls, Tampon Tim standing there. My girls, he looks awful.
That believes that Minnesota is a great place to live for everyone, no matter where you were born. Of course, we obeyed all laws, but we still believe that immigration is not a sin. We're leading, they're coming after our state, in my view, because of what we stand for, because we voted 3 times in favor of somebody not Donald Trump, which he has publicly said he resents deeply and believes is not even true. I can tell you it's not about fraud. Because if he sent people who understand forensic accounting, we'd be having a different conversation. But he's sending armed, masked men. This is a pretext, and it's not supported by the facts at all, which has brought us to court challenging the justification that the president has offered. For those watching around the country, I would submit to you that just as Portland and Chicago and LA were precursors to Minneapolis, Minneapolis is a precursor to a whole lot of other places that they have their eye on right here, right now, including Maine, and several other states.
Well, maybe they won't make the same mistake that you made. Maybe they will smarten up and cooperate with the federal authorities, and they won't have all these problems. Sounds like a good idea to me. Anyone agree? Maybe they won't be in cahoots with protesters the way you guys have been.
If we don't stop this behavior here, it will only expand, and it won't be good for anyone in our country. Minnesota is staying strong, and I want to join Governor Walz in my just pride in being a Minnesotan. No football game victory could ever make me feel as good about our state as I do about people standing up, helping their neighbors, engaging in mutual aid, giving each other rides different places, making sure that there's enough groceries, protesting, using their First Amendment rights. This state has a lot of spirit, and Minnesota nice is a real thing. I wasn't fortunate enough to be born in Minnesota. I was born and grew up in Michigan, and I can tell you that this state has a lot of nice people. It really does. And a lot of people who believe in taking care of their neighbor and welcoming the stranger. And as we see right now, resisting tyranny. So I just want to say that as the courage of protesters and others who are helping their neighbors is so evident on the streets of this great state of ours, we at the Attorney General's office and in Minnesota state government can do no less than match the courage you have already shown. And we will not back down, we won't blink, we won't bow. We will stand firmly on our constitutional rights and in favor of Minnesotans. We will do that in the ballot box, at the courts. We will do that in the streets in a peaceful, legal, First Amendment protected way. And we will do it in a multitude of ways. But one thing we will not do is we will not back down and we will not bend. And so let me wrap up by saying this. We will never forget Alex Preddy. We will never forget Renee Nicole Good. And we will never forget any of the Minnesotans who have suffered so unjustifiably in this time. Minnesota is a great place. That is why I believe we've been targeted. But it's not going to work. And we'll be in court tomorrow arguing for the rights of every Minnesotan to stand up and be the generous, courageous people that we are. Thank you.
Greg, and that's where I am at this point as a taxpayer. If they want to continue to destroy their state, fine. But Greg says, I don't want any of my tax dollars going to Minnesota, and that's where I'm at with it. If you're going to take my taxes, and you are, at least spend it on something that I approve of. And I definitely do not approve of illegal immigration. Jeremiah, I just wish I could say to him, I know, Jeremiah, they're all in it together. And CJ, I'm going to delve more into that as well. I heard about that. They're running scared now. A. Jones, it would be one thing if Minnesota was taking care of the pirates, but you took America's money to fund them. Boom. Yeah, A. Jones, and they're all over social media laughing about it, telling us how much they hate us, how stupid we are, and go to work, white man, and you're my slave, and I'm sitting back eating this food that you're paying for, and all of this crazy stuff they're on social media saying about Black and white Americans. You know, and calling us Jareers and all these other things. But they're over here, you know, you're taking, basically stealing and scamming our money. So get out. I don't care. Prosperity just dropped the Zoom link again. So any of you, okay, wait a minute. All right, let me see if I can. All right, I'm going to have to, Prosperity, I think I may have to create a new, let me see, will it let me get back in? Okay, I'm going to have to drop, I created it, and then I guess we went over on our time. So let me, hold on. Let me create another. Hit the like button, folks, as I'm setting this up. What we're doing. Okay, hold on. Let me set it up. And they're trying to use American for civil rights for free. Tijuana, that's all they've ever done. I'm sick of it. I think I have to set up another Zoom meet. You know, they're time limited. So hold on. I'll set it up and Prosperity will drop it in the chat for me. That she's been dropping it. And I think that, okay. Let me do it. So what are your thoughts as I set this up? Before I wanted to make sure everyone could click on the link before I close. And I had set it up before the live stream started. And so Prosperity, I'm going to have to reset, okay? Let me see if I can get this going. Zoom, sign in. All right. Okay, it's working. Okay, you're ready? Okay. Once Miss Prosperity drops the new link, I'll share it on the community tab. Okay. There we go. Now let me, okay, I've set it up. And folks, I think you can, it's only there for like, it may go for like an hour or something like that. I'm not sure. So let me set it up for you. All right. I'm trying, okay, I'm copying the link. And I am now going to share it on my community tab page. Okay, there we go. If you're new here, please, please, please hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. Okay, let me go to my community tab. All right. Fighting for criminals that could do harm. Make it make sense. I don't get it. Okay. Here we go. All right. All right. I am removing the old Zoom code. And all right, Miss Prosperity. If you go to my community page, I just added a new link. All right, so everyone who chooses to Everyone who chooses to, there we go. Okay. Can join us. Citizen. Okay. Robert. Yeah. Those of you who were here last night, I don't know, Robert. That's right, Tijuana. Okay. So we'll end this live stream. And if some of you weren't here last night, some people wanted to jump on and do a quick Zoom meet and greet, sip and trip, as Miss Prosperity said. Thank you, Miss Prosperity. And she just dropped the Zoom link. I just created a new meeting. It may go for about 60 minutes and then it'll cut us off. Guacamole, right? They're complaining, oh, he was just a nurse and he was, well, why was he there with, you know, and I don't want to say it on here, but why was he there with that equipment? Robert, yeah, they just let everyone off anyway. So anyone who wants to, Miss Prosperity dropped the Zoom link in the chat, or you can go to my community page and you'll see where I leave posts, and you'll see it on there as well. It's a Citizen K. Sounds like it. Okay. All right. I will end the live stream and I'll go right to the Zoom and wait for everyone. Anyone who wants to join, just click on the Zoom link. If you want to jump in, we'll do a little meet and greet. And like I said, we could probably talk for about, I think, an hour. You have to upgrade to get, you know. And I don't normally use Zoom. I normally use Google Meet because that's what we use in the schools whenever we have asynchronous days. Okay. All right. I enjoyed you. I will probably, if I don't go live tomorrow, I will upload. Make sure you're checking out my shorts. I've been uploading 2 or 3 shorts a day. So check me out. If I'm not live tomorrow, I'll just be uploading some short videos. Make sure you hit the the little like button for shorts is on. It's the top right-hand corner. So I know a lot of people forget that. So please that helps the channel to grow, and I appreciate that. So I'm coming I'm going straight to the Zoom meeting I have open. So those of you who are joining us, you can leave the chat and I will start admitting you to the Zoom. All right. Be safe. Be warm. I love you. And I will see you. Those of you who are joining me for the Zoom. How you doing, Chris? Chris, click on the link and join us in the live Zoom meeting. We're doing a little short meet and greet. Okay. Anyone who wants to. Okay. All right. Someone's already joined. So Shaziz is there. So I got to go. Okay. How you doing, Shaziz? All right. I'm great. Sounds good. I'll end the live stream and we'll start talking. All right. Love you. If I don't go live tomorrow, like I said, I will see you. Check out my shorts. I'm going to the Zoom.